We've had a long morning, so let's just start with taking a deep breath so that it reminds us what we are here for, a very good cause. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, members of the private sector, friends, members from the bureaucracy, members from the ministries, all of you good people who are here, a very, very good afternoon to you. So it's a privilege to be here today at the Breathe Pakistan conference. And I would like to acknowledge the Dawn Media Group, supported by members of the private sector, for this platform that is helping us confront one of the greatest challenges of our time, the air we breathe. I stand before you not only as the CEO of English Biscuit Manufacturers, but also as the chairperson of the Pakistan Business Council, which represents the country's largest and most responsible businesses. In the private sector collectively, our member companies employ millions of Pakistanis, contribute significantly to the national revenues, and most importantly, have the power to shape the trajectory of sustainable growth in Pakistan. Each year, as that familiar gray sky returns, it reminds us that leadership today must be measured not only by growth or profit, but by the quality of air our people breathe. Clean air is no longer an aspiration, but responsibility we all share. Air pollution costs Pakistan nearly 6% of GDP every year. According to the World Bank, this percentage is more than what we spend on health and education combined. It weakens our workforce, drives up healthcare costs, and deters investment. We need to understand that clean air is not just a social cause, it is an economic. I believe our community of leading companies has both the responsibility and the reach to drive this transformation. Through our Center of Excellence in Responsible Business, we've been working since 2018 to understand how industry can become a catalyst for cleaner air. Encouragingly, many of our member companies like Bank Al-Falah, the Dawood Foundation, Interloop Limited, and Engro Corporation have begun installing air quality monitors at and around their facilities to measure, disclose, and reduce emissions. At EBM, even though our industry is not a high polluting sector, as conscientious, responsible businesses, we are steadily cutting our greenhouse gas footprint under our Nation Nourish the World commitment. We've transitioned to 4% green energy and reduced emissions by 4% with a clear roadmap to reach net zero. Also piloted roads entirely from multi-layer plastic waste, offsetting 42 tons of carbon emissions. And through our partnership with initiatives such as these, the Breathe Pakistan, we continue to demonstrate how the private sector can work alongside government and civil society to make cleaner air a shared reality. Across Pakistan, more businesses are investing in cleaner processes and data monitoring, from textile clusters in Faisalabad, installing effluent treatment plants, to logistics firms in Karachi, exploring electric vehicle pilots. These examples prove that responsible business is not just about compliance, it's also about having a conscience. Examples in the public sector include in Lahore, the Punjab government has installed mobile air quality monitoring stations across key hotspots to generate real-time data that informs policy action. And today, we had a detailed presentation by the Minister Maryam Aurangzeb about all the efforts that are being done to combat this menace in Punjab. In Islamabad, collaboration between the Capital Development Authority and Ministry of Climate Change has introduced early warning systems and stricter vehicular checks. So each of these, and there are many more, are examples, whether in policy, industry, or infrastructure, which reinforces one truth: when leadership aligns with intent, progress follows. But this is just the beginning and a drop in the ocean. So if we try to look for some real inspiration of what has shown tangible results and has worked, it has been mentioned by a couple of speakers earlier in the day, the example of Beijing. So the government's Blue Sky campaign, enforced with industrial reforms and cleaner fuels, cut the particulate matter by 35% in just 5 years. In Mexico City, where air pollution was once so severe that birds would fall mid-flight, collaborative action between regulators and industry helped reduce the carbon monoxide by 86%, ozone by 53%, and particulate matter by 32%, even as the number of vehicles doubled. And in Bangkok, where over half of the particulate matter emissions came from transport, the government partnered with private operators to upgrade fleets and introduce Euro 6 standards and ultra-low sulfur fuels. These cities did not wait for miracles. They built momentum through policy, partnership, and persistence, which somebody very rightly today called political will. In 2021, SERB conducted Pakistan's first baseline study on business and air quality. It found that while many large organizations already comply with environmental standards, it's the informal sector, thousands of small workshops, kilns, and units which remain outside the accountability net. Insights from studies such as these have helped shape our understanding of what real impact can come from. Our next step must be to embed collaboration into the country's environmental framework, to move from isolated efforts to a shared strategy. That is why what I am proposing is the creation of a National Clean Air Forum, a permanent platform where government, industry, academia, and NGOs collaborate, share data, and co-design practical solutions, a space where research meets regulation, where the public and private sectors build trust and work together towards one common goal of clean air for the future generations of Pakistan. PBC will be happy to offer its services as required as a convener. So what needs to be done? What needs to be done is expand the monitoring networks, connect public and private air quality systems nationwide, engage the informal sector, offer support and encourage compliance gradually, inclusion is extremely important. Leverage green finance, enable small and medium-sized enterprises to upgrade responsibly. Support sectors which we know are a challenge, but also have the greatest potential, such as agriculture, which could generate over 7 billion in sustainable exports each year. Reward green investments. Pakistan's formal sector already drives most of the country's growth and tax contribution. It should be seen as a partner in this transition, encouraged through measurable incentives, not additional burdens of taxes and regulations. Government can unlock real impact by rewarding responsible businesses and working with them to support others. Ensure transparency so citizens can see in real time who is helping clean the air and who isn't. Progress and partnership will depend on how well we turn individual efforts into collective momentum. If we align these efforts across the formal and informal sectors and between government and industry, Pakistan can shift the global narrative from one of pollution to one of progress. We have the knowledge, we have the partners, we have the will. Clean air will not come from courage. It will come from ownership. And ownership begins here, among those who have the power to act and influence to lead. Because at the heart of this is not policy or technology, it's people. It's our parents, it's our children, and it is us. It's the air children breathe. It's the future we owe them. Partnership is not just our path forward, it is our proof of progress. If we align our data, our policy, and our purpose, we can clear the haze not only over our skies, but over the nation's priorities as well. Let's leave behind clearer skies and a clearer sense of responsibility. Thank you.